A second. What is it, really? We rarely stop to consider its weight, its meaning, or the possibilities it contains. Just a blink, a snap, a single word. A second slips by so quickly, it almost feels invisible. We waste thousands every day, barely noticing. Seconds dissolve into the background noise of our busy lives. We treat seconds like pocket change, disposable, forgettable. We toss them away, never thinking twice. But sometimes, a single second is everything. It can be the difference between before and after, between hope and heartbreak. It's the space between what was and what will never be. A threshold, suspended in time, where everything can change. In 1 second, a life can pivot, changing everything forever. The world can tilt on its axis, and nothing is ever the same. For some, that final second is overflowing, with memories, dreams, love, and fear, all compressed into an instant. It's a lifetime, condensed. This isn't a story about death, it's about life, distilled into its most potent form. It's about the moments that define us, even as they slip away. It's about young girls, vibrant and full of promise, and the universe they carried within them in that last immeasurable second. Their laughter, their dreams, their hopes, all alive in that moment. We often focus on the aftermath, the grief, the headlines. We see the loss, but not the life that came before. But what about the moment before? The second that still belonged to them, untouched by fate. What fills that quiet personal space? What thoughts, what feelings, what memories linger there? We're going to step into that second, to see the world through their eyes. To understand what it meant to be alive in that fleeting instant. We won't dwell on the darkness, but honor the light they held inside. The beauty, the hope, the love that filled their hearts. We'll listen to their thoughts, see the images that flashed before their eyes, and feel the hopes that still flickered in their hearts. We'll remember the joy that was theirs, because in that 1 second, they were not victims. They were themselves, brave, bright and unforgettable. They were girls, full of life. Their spirits soared even in the smallest moments. Their stories deserved to be told, not as tragedies, but as testaments to the beautiful, fragile lives they lived. Each second mattered. Let's begin, not with endings, but with the fullness of a single, extraordinary second. Let's honor the life that filled it, because sometimes a second holds a lifetime, a universe of meaning, waiting to be seen. Maya was 12. She was the kind of girl who noticed the little things, the way sunlight danced on leaves, the sound of laughter echoing across a playground, the warmth of a hand in hers. She loved the color orange, the exact shade that set the sky ablaze at sunset. It was her favorite, a color that made her feel alive, as if the world was painted just for her. She called it Dragon's Breath Orange, a name she invented because it sounded magical and wild. That evening she sat on her grandfather's old swing, bare feet kicking up dust, thinking about her volcano science project. The swing creaked beneath her, and she imagined lava flowing, bright and unstoppable, just like her dreams. She was sure she'd get an A. She'd worked for weeks, carefully building her volcano, painting it with the same fiery orange she loved. In her final second, Maya wasn't afraid. There was a calmness, a gentle acceptance, as if she knew she was exactly where she was meant to be. Her mind filled with simple joys, her best friend Chloe's laughter, her dog's wet nose, the feeling of grass between her toes on a summer day, the promise of strawberry ice cream, cold and sweet, melting faster than she could eat it. These weren't grand memories, just the everyday happiness that made her Maya, ordinary moments, yet precious, woven together into the story of her life. The last thing she saw was the sky, glowing with that perfect orange. It was as if the world was saying goodbye in her favorite color. A thought formed, I have to paint this. She wanted to remember it forever, to share it with everyone she loved. She imagined mixing colors, capturing the sunset, on canvas, a memory made permanent. Each brushstroke would hold a piece of her heart. Her final second was not an ending, but a moment of creation, a promise to capture beauty, a testament to the artist she was becoming. Even as time slowed, her imagination soared. The swing creaked to a stop, the dust settled, and the orange faded to purple. The world grew quiet, holding its breath. For Maya, time stopped at the peak of its beauty. The sunset became her forever. Her last thought was not of fear, but of art and possibility. She believed in tomorrow, in colors yet to be mixed. In that second, her life was a painting, unfinished, but vibrant. Every color, every memory, alive on the canvas of her mind. She was not a victim, but an artist, dreaming of tomorrow. Her dreams would live on, bright and bold. Her story is not a tragedy, but a celebration of a life lived in color. Every moment, every shade, a tribute to her spirit. Maya's final second was a masterpiece, her legacy painted across the sky, a reminder to cherish beauty and to live every day in color. Aisha was 7, and she believed her teddy bear Omar understood everything. In the back seat, city lights streaked by as she hummed her mother's lullaby, Omar in her arms. Her mother's hand reached back, squeezing her knee, a small gesture, but to Aisha, it was everything. In her last second, the world outside faded. She was a spaceship captain, Omar her first mate, flying past candy planets. She was about to ask her mom, "Do stars get lonely?" A question born of pure wonder. Her mother's eyes smiled in the mirror, waiting for her words. The question was never asked. The lullaby faded. In that moment, Aisha was not a passenger, but a storyteller, a philosopher, a daughter. Her last second was filled with magic, curiosity, and love. Childhood wonder was her universe. Lena was 16, standing at the edge of so many possibilities. Music was her language, her refuge, the place she felt most alive and understood. In the school's old music room, sunlight slanting in, she played a difficult piece on the piano, letting each note fill the air with hope and longing. Her fingers danced, the music flowing from deep inside her, telling stories she could never put into words. In her final second, the hard passage felt effortless, as if she and the piano were one. She wasn't thinking of recitals or scholarships, just the music, pure and triumphant, letting it carry her beyond the walls of that room. Her last thought wasn't words but a chord. Full, powerful, perfect, echoing in her mind like a promise. She felt a smile of accomplishment, a quiet joy blooming inside her. She had conquered the piece, her heart beating in time with the music's last notes. In her mind applause rose, the final chord echoing. Then, silence. The music stopped mid-phrase, leaving a hush that felt sacred. But in that second, Lena was not a student in a dusty room, but something more. She was a virtuoso, taking a bow on a grand stage, the spotlight warm on her face. Her life ended in the middle of a crescendo, not a discord, her story pausing on a high note. Her last moment was a testament to her passion, a memory that would linger in every silent room she left behind. The symphony was unfinished, but perfect in its final silent notes, an echo of dreams still alive. Lena's story is not about loss, but about the music she made, and the dreams she carried, which still inspire those who remember her. Her final second was a standing ovation, a celebration of a life lived in melody. She lived her passion, right to the end, her music echoing on in the hearts of all who heard it. Maya, Aisha, Lena. 3 girls, 3 worlds, one thread connecting them. In their final seconds, they weren't defined by fear, but by hope and creation. They thought of painting sunsets, telling stories, perfecting a song. Their last moments were filled with connection. A mother's touch, a friend's laughter, imagined applause. They didn't dwell on what they were losing, but on the richness of what they had. Even as time ran out, their minds reached for tomorrow. Maya mixed colors for a future painting. Aisha formed a question for her mother. Lena heard the final chord of a performance about to begin. Their final act was living, fully, fiercely, beautifully. This is the universal language of the final breath. Not a scream, but a whisper of dreams. A life is measured not by its length, but by its depth. In their last seconds, these girls' lives were infinitely deep. When a young life ends, it's not just a candle blown out, it's a thread ripped from a tapestry. The tapestry is family, community, the world. The loss unravels everything around it. For Maya's family, orange sunsets are now tinged with sadness. The swing is a silent monument. For Aisha's family, the silence in the car is deafening. Omar the teddy bear is a relic. Her grandmother's house echoes with absence. The world is fractured. Familiar places become landmines of grief. Families must navigate a new landscape forever marked by the missing thread. the tapestry is scarred, a testament to a beautiful, irreplaceable life. The loss of a young girl is a public wound, sending ripples through the community. Lena's school music room is silent, the piano sits like a tombstone. The recital has a hole in its program, a moment of silence that says more than any note. The music shop owner, the neighbor who listened, everyone feels the absence. Communities try to fill the void with flowers, memorials, stories. Each memory shared is another thread lost, another reminder of what's gone. The more people who mourn, the clearer the magnitude of the loss. A single young life is a cornerstone of community, a beacon of potential. When she's gone, the community loses a piece of its future. The ripples of her absence change everything. The heaviest grief is not just for what was, but for what could have been. Maya was a future artist, a scientist. Her empty desk is an empty future. Aisha could have been a novelist, a teacher, a wanderer of stars. Lena's unfinished symphony is a metaphor for all the music, all the dreams that vanished with her. Families grieve not just the child they knew, but the woman they'll never meet. It's a grief for 1,000 futures, all lost in a second. The world is less beautiful, less musical, because they are not in it. So, what do we do with this grief? We can't be helpless. The stories of Maya, Aisha, and Lena are calls to action, a demand to value every young life now. Their legacy is beauty, love, and creation. We honor them by living more fully, by seeing the color in sunsets, telling stories, and pursuing our passions. We must protect the universes inside every child, build a world that is safer, kinder, more compassionate. Listen to the quiet kids, encourage the dreamers, protect the vulnerable, appreciate the small joys. Build communities where every child feels seen and safe. Fight against the circumstances that steal futures away. In the end, their memory asks us to make a promise. Don't take a second for granted. Cherish the people in your life. Be kinder, more present. Maya, Aisha, and Lena are not here to live out their tomorrows, but we are. We owe it to them to make our tomorrows better. Let's build a world worthy of the beautiful, hopeful lives they lived, right up to their very last second.